It's December 22nd, 2019, and it's been 2 weeks since I received my Canon 60D that I purchased from someone on eBay. And this is the first day that I actually got to do a family photo shoot with it. My wife always has family shoots going on, especially during the holidays. And we were kind of debating whether or not to do a video in regards to using someone that's actually paying us, and I decided to call up a friend, fellow photographer. Her name is Carly. She's known my wife pretty much right from the beginning of when my wife had gotten started. The two of them pretty much were starting right around the same time, and they needed family photos. And they know that these photos are going to be shown on YouTube, and they're cool with it. So we decided, this is the way to do it. And it also goes along with what I'm saying in regards to you're going to have to do some free shoots in the beginning. If you're new, you haven't done family photography, you're going to have to get your friends' families, your family out there and practice. And so today was kind of a practice for me because in all transparency, I've never really used a crop sensor camera to be doing family photos or any kind of commercial photography. When I got into this side hustle, at the point of when I started, my wife had already gotten things going, and we had already upgraded to full frame cameras at that point. She started with the T2i, went to a T4i, and then right to a 5D Mark III. So there's a learning curve between the two and what you can do and what you can't do. So, and honestly, I kind of made a mistake. I was shooting a little too slow this morning, and a lot of my photos were blurry, but I did get some good stuff out of it, and I'm surprised by the photos I got. I used the obviously Canon 60D, and I was using the 50mm 1.8, a lens you can buy for $100 online. So basically you could probably put this setup together for about $350 with that camera and lens. And I did a video as far as the photo session, and then I have the photos to show. These photos are going to be completely unedited other than the fact that they've been converted to JPEGs from CR2. I shot them in RAW, and then I export them as JPEGs, but nothing has been modified. It did nothing with the exposure in post. I've done nothing with the colors. I used an expodisc, and I was shooting in manual mode. And we will now take a look at the video or jump into the video where we do the photo shoot, and then from there I'll actually show you the pictures that I had taken.
Give Daddy a smooch. Can you give Daddy a smooch?
Oh, perfect. You guys look great. Yeah, don't tell her about the DOG right behind them. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that great?
That light.
All right, Emma. What are you doing? Mommy's got the light in it. It's amazing.
Coyote.
Oh my God.
Did you get that face? So we
Oh,
just
no
had
good.
a coyote run by
That was
right
crazy.
over there.
Up, up, up. Look at you. Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at those two.
Oh my God.
Ah!
So cute. I see you. Emma.
She's like, I'm out of here. This show is over. Yeah, I'm gonna get you, Mom. Come here. No, you stay there, Claire. You're perfect. Yep, you're singing just perfect. I'm gonna put you right here. There we go. Stay there, Emma. Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Oh, stinking cute.
Wow, Mommy and Daddy are smooching. Wow. That's so this lighting out here is just perfect. That's really the biggest thing when you're doing portrait photography. It's going to be all about the lighting. And this lighting out here, they're being backlit. It's filtered light, it's coming through the trees, and it just gives just this beautiful look to the images. So hopefully I got everything I need in post or for post, and I will see you guys there. So there you have it. You get to be able to see the actual video footage of us taking the pictures, and now you are able to see the images that actually came out of camera. Like I said, these images have not been edited at all in post. All I did was just check to make sure stuff was in focus. I just export them as JPEGs at that point, and so you guys can be able to see them. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with the colors. I'm really happy with the look that I was able to accomplish. It's just a 1.8 lens, $100 lens with a 250 Canon 60D. And I'm gonna do another video just to compare the photos that my wife took compared to the photos that I took. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. But I think those images, they would sell. People, you'd be able to create a business based off of a look like that. And the beauty of it is you're going to not have to spend a ton of time editing these photos. Basically, with the photos, I would bump up the shadows a little bit, probably bring down the highlights, maybe desaturate a little bit some of the colors. The greens and yellows were a little bit dramatic, but that's about the extent of it. So I hope you really got to be able to get an idea as far as a good comparison, or what you can be able to produce with a setup like this. I was using an expodisc. I was shooting in manual mode. Mistake I made was I did another video where I was talking about how you should know your minimum speed to be able to shoot at, and I had discussed my minimum speed is 1/125th of a second, and that's what I set my camera up today at. I was shooting at 100 ISO, 1/125th of a second, and I was at f2.8. But I probably should have raised my ISO to 200, maybe 400, been able to bring my speed up to 1/250th of a second, maybe 1/500th of a second. And I would have had a lot more sharp images. I probably only, like, a third of my images were sharp because I had my speed too low. And the thing I forget with the crop sensor, even though it's a 50mm lens, it's cropping the image into like you were using an 80mm lens. So you're zooming in on it. It's not changing the focal length, but you're cropping into a much tighter part of the image. So it's able to see, you're going to see things out of focus without really having to blow up the image too much when you're using a crop sensor. So you really have to make sure that you've got your speed up so you're able to get that sharp image. If it was a 30 megapixel and I was shooting with 50 millimeter, or I'm sorry, not a 30 megapixel, but if it was a 50, if I was shooting on full frame with a 50 millimeter lens, the image wouldn't have been as cropped. You know, I've been shooting at that exact focal length of 50 millimeters, and it's not as obvious when, even when you blow up an image, you can't see that it's out of focus unless you're really, you know, getting down, magnifying to like 500 or 800%. So lesson learned. Next time I'm going to bump up my speed, start off a lot higher than I did for today. And last thing I want to bring out is look at the skin tones. Look how natural the skin tones look. That's the beauty of using a Canon camera with an expodisc. And we're not using expensive gear. We're using a low-end camera with a used camera on top of that, with a low-end easy entry lens, and you're just able to produce some really nice portrait photos. So thank you for watching this video, and have a great holiday season. Until next time, happy shooting.